Lightning. But Lightning Bolt will scale better, a little bit better in these like mid-game skirmishes. He does get Lightning Bolt. But I mean, it's going to cost him a lot of mana to spam this out. You know, one usage here is going to hurt Wind Ranger a little bit, but he's already got a headdress. I don't know. We'll see how this works. I feel like they kind of pivoted their Zeus into 5. Maybe not necessarily because they wanted to, but maybe more likely because of how the draft developed. So I don't know. Maybe Fata can prove me wrong. He does like these weird heroes, but I'm not quite sold on Zeus 5 unless he has a really good laning stage.
Well, now's the chance to see what it can bring to the table for sure. But very interesting the way that we've seen the change in terms of supports now that the salves have been, you know, nerfed a bit with the fact you can't just feed them to, well, I've been taking a lot of harass here, yikes. The fact that you can't feed it. We're seeing a lot of these supports as well that are able to take any sort of salve for themselves and then turn it into the, you know, the HP right back for their core, right? Like we've seen the Abaddons, the Ios, obviously, things like that.
Yeah, those heroes can be like healing your core is obviously very, very important here. Bot actually off to a great start on the top lane. Between his 62 base damage with these 3 Iron branches and his Lightning Bolt, he's actually done a really good job against Moon Meander here. So one of the downsides when you go for this headdress build that your traditional support duties are just not going to feel nearly as good. So if you feels relatively comfortable laning in the 1v1 while Zeus is beating up Wind Ranger, then that's already a nice start for them.
Yeah, I know you're not always sold on the picking up the headrest super early for the supports here.
I'm not always into it, but I am pro players have consistently, maybe not consistently, but in many times said that that is the correct way to go. So I'm probably just wrong on that one. But in this one case, I guess the other cool thing that Zeus really offers here, super easy dewarding of the small camp. You can actually just commit a Lightning Bolt to it instead of having to buy a sentry. So he already got a pull off, denied 2 or 3 creeps already off the bat. So nice start, and wow, with a nice kill too.
Yeah, very nice setup there. You can see the value of the tag team shards and of course the stomp. Lots of lockdown. Very difficult to play that lane because, you know, a Clockwerk melee wants to be up in your face, so it does have to be a bit careful with that positioning. But yeah, we're seeing this value of Fata on the Zeus 5. It's a good solution to a Wind Ranger who just wants to harass, you know, wind run away. It's not that easy when you're faced with the magical nukes of a Zeus.
Yeah, the more I watch this, I think he's just very confident in playing this because his base movement speed is high at 315. His base damage is high. The dewarding aspect is there. Like it's given him a nice advantage. And to undercut the Wind Ranger, maybe didn't expect Wind Ranger to be here. I mean, if it was like a clock, it would have been a little bit harder. I guess it was Moon Meander playing, so he expected it. But now so far off the bat, Moon Meander's had to spend a lot of regen to offset this damage that Fata's thrown at him.
That's pretty cool to see, actually. Just a solution to that Wind Ranger. We've seen a lot of the support coming out, especially after the major. So Zeus gaining, those stonks are going up for Zeus, for sure.
They are, for sure. I mean, her laning stage has always been just kind of mediocre on the Wind Ranger. It's fine. Wind Run is quite effective, but she's not the best laner. Her value really comes in the mid game when she's moving around, landing shackle shots and getting Gale Force. So if you can outlane her, that's one good solution to try to make her impact feel a little bit less. Because Fata bought all tangos, he got Ironwood branches, mangoes here. See, his entire goal here is just to try to beat up his opponents as much as possible.
I think it's value to pick up something like raindrops in this lane to try to deal with a bit of this.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, almost every support is happy to pick up a raindrop at some point in the laning stage just because of the mana regen and stuff. It's basically always value.
Continue
so far, Leslau having a great game so far, 21-2. Plus he got that first blood, so his Ring of Health is up. He got 1 bracer as well. Vid booster is 600 gold away, and once he gets that, Tomato basically can't do anything in this lane in terms of pressuring him unless there are ganks. So that could be a really good thing that makes Tomato homeless in terms of laning stage and forces him to either go for ganks or to jungle, which is fine for Profit, but not nearly as good as it is to stick in the lane for longer than normal.
That's true. They do have the option of being able to teleport to another lane. In fact, I believe in the past when we've seen TSM play this in particular, you will see that the rotation comes in fairly early up to this top tower once they feel like they have the advantage and they've got the levels on their offlane. Moon Meander does have to be careful. Fata a little bit low on the mana though. On the bottom lane, the Tomato is going to get cleaned up and Dubu's going to just try to push them away here, burn a little of that mana. Do what he can, but Fata is getting a bit harassed. We'll turn the harass right back around over onto Saberlight. Just poking a little bit. Don't quite have the damage to fully shut him down right now, but...
Yeah, everything's going great for Quincy Crew right now. I mean, the interesting MSS set doesn't even have Snowball yet, actually. He just went for Ice Shards with Tag Team, so they're just beating their opponents down. And again, they can't really respawn that damage towards Leslau. The Treants hit him, he's doing AoE damage back without spending resources. All he needs to do is ensure that he has enough regen, and the Treants basically just aren't a problem at all. So this is a really cool solution to that Prophet carry here with Leslau playing the Centaur.
Definitely not a hero we're seeing a lot of, but it's one of the nice things about watching these top tier teams is seeing the solutions that they come up with that we might not have thought of. So
yeah, and he's utilizing double edge pretty much all the time here to nuke the Treants, look at his last hits so he doesn't get denied. He's just in a commanding lead here, 34 last hits compared to the 27. And Tomato's still definitely within like a decent range, but getting 2 kills now for Leslau is going to put him in a great spot. He's even buying the 5.5 minute Quelling Blade. Can we get the average time for Quelling Blade on a Centaur stat, please?
I'll give them a
probably not a lot of data.
They have so much data, guys. Like they know exactly how many trees get cut down. You never know. You never know.
It's almost always started with likely.
But Dubu does spot out the Tusk over here, so let's get the Snowball connect, the fall with the Avalanche, they'll throw up into the air, and this should be a dead MSS. I'm just gonna give off a couple of these little planks, but Fata also making this rotation. I'm gonna try to back him up a little, and so is Moon. Yeah, and that's a nice haste rune that I'm sure they would have liked to have grabbed on the side of Quincy, but with Moon making this rotation, Shackle not gonna be able to quite land there. But they do ensure that this haste rune belongs to Bryle. Goes for a little bit of that Avalanche. He's gonna back off. Oh no! Nobody saw that.
All right. Well, hey, the great dodge at least by on the Avalanche. He read that one really well, but ultimately, yeah, the Dream Coil would have been perfect, but a little bit out of position for that one. So a lot of effort to try to secure the rune. Gets used to save Bryle, which is nice for him. But in terms of last hitting, Puck's a little bit behind the Tiny, but not a huge amount. It's maybe a level, so getting hurt a bit by this. And not getting the refill is going to hurt too, but... Oh boy, I don't like that voice line.
Yeah.
They really like that intentional cringe, don't they?
I think they're looking for stuff that you know, is spammable and that will irk people, and clearly it's irking you, so it's achieved its goal.
It has, yes. The annoying category is being fulfilled very well by Simply Do It. Oh yeah, yep, they got money of them. They really just doubled down on that category for sure. There's that early tower that Centaur took. Very, very easy for him to do this. Just cuts the creep wave, tower slaps him a bit. He does not care. Boots now Vanguard. He's actually going to get a phase boots too. Usually Centaurs just sit brown boots for the entire laning stage, thinking like, oh, I'm going to get blink and I don't need phase boots. It's not important. But it's kind of cool to see him do this because he feels so far ahead that he's going to go for it.
Okay. I mean, it's not like it's something that's going to take him an excess amount of time to really pick up. Because I know sometimes we'll see these offlaners, you know, they should be going for the blink dagger, they go for something else, and then you look back and you're like, oh man, they really should have gone for the blink instead of that one other item. But it is just, you know, the phase boot, so.
Yeah, it's not that expensive, but I just feel like it's because he's quite ahead here. The extra armor is going to be really helpful. There's a lot of physical damage from the TSM side, and yeah, his blink dagger doesn't come out as fast, but I think he's so far ahead that it's not a big deal. It'll make his laning stage completely fine, and then he can transition later and get active with Puck, Dream Quells, and stuff like that. He's got huge control of basically this whole area on the bottom. There's a nice observer board that will spot some of his rotations, and as long as he doesn't make any big mistakes, I think he'll be completely fine down here. And I also like that he's jungling while he gives MSS the creep wave too. It's a really smart thing to do to help MSS catch up, get 6 at a good timing, buy his crucial items, and that'll make him more impactful in this mid-game fights.
I do love to see that efficiency there. As also in the bottom lane, you can see that Dubu also trying to get some of these levels online for himself. He had a difficult time once they started to put the pressure down, obviously, with the Centaur and the Tusk. Just not being able to thrive that well, letting Tomato just hit the creeps at a distance. And Dubu had to find something else to do during that time. In fact, still getting bullied a bit here by Leslau. Top lane, though, do mention land Shackle. Needs some follow-up damage, though, because you are 10 back around. They do Saber Light here, but shards will connect. And now Moon Meander looks like, yep, in comes Quinn. He finds himself a nice pick-off with this rotation to the top lane.
And instantly Fada finds the Observer Ward as well, gives him the ping back. Puts in a bit of a weird place, but able to get that and get a kill rotation, making the Wind Ranger feel a little bit less impactful, but that's still only the first step here for Moonmeander. Brawl rotating the safe lane here, trying to maybe kill Centaur. I don't really know if it's viable though. They've got a lot of magic burst, I guess. Battery Salt could do a lot too, but it would have taken a lot to kill Centaur.
I think it was just the realization that, okay, we got 4 heroes top. Let's try to do something anywhere else on the map right now. And perhaps that's the reason why they decided they wanted to try to make that move. But of course, they do have the vision over in the Radiant jungle to help protect Leslau. She just says, get out here, Moonmeander. You're not doing anything.
Yeah, I think you're very likely right. Maybe they find a support or somebody else, or maybe they find him at a perfect position to get a kill. But for now, it's just Dubu kind of hitting creeps. His game has kind of really been put in a weird place due to the Centaur pick, because it's not like Centaur just can't really be harassed very much by the trees, and he got first blood. Now Clockwerk is never going to want to commit to a kill because they just weren't ever going to kill him. So Dubu, the Clockwerk, just doesn't get these kill opportunities that he normally would have access to. He's going to rotate top, though, to look to help out. He actually does have a tome, though, so he's going to be ready to go for a hook shot. Checks for an Observer Ward, and we'll see if he can get a setup here with Saberlight.
All right, well, we'll start off with the Dream Coil. Dubu getting into position. Hook shots over onto the Zeus. We'll buy enough time here for this Night Stalker to stay alive. Dark Section gets popped. So Dubu coming in handy, but now he is left alone with 3 different heroes. Yeah, no, Yoar happily will pick that kill, but they do manage to save this Night Stalker. Is now over in the mid lane. Leslau is going to make a rotation on Bryle. He's trying to get some damage on the tower. It's the Avalanche tossed back. Rest of the team is on their way, though. So I'm trying to bait a little bit of Saberlight. Okay, there it is. They do manage to get the Stampede off. They get the stomp and the follow-up now with Lettergod's Wrath. It's going to look a little dicey, but eventually they'll get the kill on Bryle.
It was a really good attempt by TSM because they were in a terrible situation, right? Clockwerk dies, basically accomplishing nothing because the Zeus pressed 1 spell for 50 mana, and then they tried to use that Night Stalker ulti because that was daytime they popped it. It was used defensively, they got nothing offensively, so they're like, well, let's try to get something out of this with the Centaur kill. But the ulti reaction there by Centaur, it was pretty likely, but ultimately they lose so much in these engagements.
Moonmeander is held by the Dream Coil. They have so much damage on the side of Quincy as they jump down here. They'll be able to find themselves Saberlight. The teleport's coming in though from Bryle. Should be able to clean up on Leslau, and they should be able to go and close the gap over on MSS. So a double kill here now for Bryle in the spot lane.
Really nicely done. I didn't see how that started, but yeah, they bursted them down. Managing to do that is really good for their overall net worth. But the game still looks pretty tough because they've got 3 minutes now without Night Stalker ulti. Saberlight is going for an armlet this game, so trying to provide some carry potential to maybe offset a little bit of the lacking that might be gone, maybe from Nature's Prophet or something. Maybe just so they can take it to the Tusk, the Wraith King better. But either way, the game is going quite well for Quincy. More pressure on Moonmeander now.
A little bit of a chase. You managed to land. Oh, nice shackle coming out from Moonmeander. Should be enough for him to just walk away.
Safe there.
I mean, the one nice thing out of this for TSM, right, because they are struggling quite a bit, like you said, is the fact that this Nature's Prophet, for the most part, we haven't seen him, right? He's just been able to go and do his farming, start building up that net worth, currently at the top of the net worth, too. Although, all right, bottom lane, they'll find themselves Fada.
Nicely done. Yeah, that's basically what he's been doing, right? Pushing creep waves. He helped a little bit in that bot double kill there. They almost went on Tomato here. They're thinking about it.
Dire's bottom tower.
Not quite in range. No blink dagger on either MSS or Puck. The Quinn playing the Puck. But nice kill and punish on the 5 position Zeus, who's so far gotten away with a lot. I gotta say, he's been playing extremely effectively. Dubu gets a little ancient block in the meantime, though, but I don't think Quincy crew cares that much. They're getting a lot done on the map. They're pushing out waves and skeletons. One of the big benefits that Yoar brings with the Wraith King here.
I'm gonna get the jump onto this Wraith King, throw him right in the middle of the cogs, but who's trapped here with who is the question, because Dubu is gonna have to back off here. And there's a rotation coming out now. Quinn and MSS making their way over, looking for Dubu. Shards are gonna go right past him. The snowball not gonna be able to connect it. Very, very close, though.
Yeah, really close. Maybe some vision issues there for him hesitating on the snowball, but yeah, he gets out. Fada gonna get dove top, though.
Look, the TPs are coming out, trying to save him, trying to protect. Cannot do it fast enough, though. Not with this many heroes over here, but they will go get the jump in over onto Saberlight. So they'll be able to get themselves a retaliation kill, possibly? No, he's gonna fly away over the tree line. And now the roll in coming out. There's going to be the avalanche thrown, followed up with a nice power shot. They'll turn it around. They get the kill on MSS. They're still chasing after here. They really would love to get this kill. That Wrath of Nature, though, it does a lot of damage. And somehow Saberlight and Bryle's still alive. They'll get the kill on Leslau. Now they want Quinn. They've got a hook shot with his name on it. Beautifully done by TSM.
Oh, that was so good. A little bit of a miss on the last orb there. Doesn't hit any of the low heroes, but great kiting. That toss by Bryle was so instrumental there. It looked like they were going to be able to kill Night Stalker for sure, but he just throws the Tusk in the air. He doesn't get as much gap close. He doesn't get to cast Snowball when he wants to, and as a result, Night Stalker gets away. And then it looked like they had a kill finally, but the armor and the 3-man avalanche plus the shackle shot just did enough to clean up. Quinn's orb there ends up missing. They don't quite get the right clicks. At this point, they're so low. Oh, he almost gets the stun off, but Bryle tosses him as well. And Bryle just completely broke their ankles there. Really good job. And they even Zeus ulti too. I don't even think they got a kill from that, did they? Man, what a great play from TSM. That got them back in the game in a big way.
They did eventually get Saberlight. It was the puck who finished them off. But yeah, no, they sat at such low health that entire time, and the perfect just kiting coming out in that fight. Very, very fun Dota to watch.
And now it's nighttime again, so TSM's pretty happy they were able to manage that. For sure.
Yeah, I have to say, you know, we were a bit disappointed with the way that, you know, the laning phase went for Dubu, just because of the fact that Quincy, they drafted a very strong lane against this, you know, position 5 Clockwerk, but he's always going to have a lot of value, right? Having something like a Clockwerk for the vision, or being able to initiate and have that, you know, hook shot to jump into the fights is always going to be super value, even if you're a little bit under-leveled.
Yeah, the tough thing for him is he can't solo kill the Zeus here. He's going to fish forward a little bit. Kind of a weird game. He can't hook first, but yeah, he still has a lot of value, certainly. He can ensure that his opponents aren't escaping from Stampede, things like that. He can start a chain stun basically very easily. There's definitely good value from his hero.
That and the fact that it pierces spell immunity too. I feel like those sorts of spells are just always very, very valued. But gonna get the jump in the bottom lane on Saberlight. Not gonna be able to quite connect though. There'll be a deep snowball, and they'll find themselves in meander, but the Hummus says he can't go anywhere. He's stuck in the trees, and there's a strong wind. The chase is on after Leslau. The toss, get the kill from Tomato. Not going to be able to land the hook shot over, though, onto Quinn. Chase is on. This is looking like it's going to be a bit difficult for them to get their hands on this puck. In fact, he drops the Dream Coil just for some self-preservation. And there's go. They finish off Saberlight. The position 5 Zeus coming in hot.
That was nice. Pressed the ulti right when he turned off his armlet there. He went to armlet toggle and he gets him. Really nicely done. Makes the Dream Coil feel even better too. And Quinn didn't even leave. He just stayed bottom, so no loss of TP scroll here. He's going to cut the creep wave a little bit and keep the pressure on them. That was a really, really big kill by Fada. It basically slows down the roll that TSM was going with there. But for the first sighting of the Gale Force, it was very effective. It basically just forced Quincy to stick around when they did not want to, and that is the value of the hero.
Still a very neck-and-neck game, though. It's about a 1K lead going over to the side of TSM. And again, Tomato just continues to farm up. Does have the BKB. He's got himself the Maelstrom and is sitting pretty at top, but not very far behind him is, of course, the Wraith King, Puck, and the Centaur. But they're trading off now. We're seeing more and more net worth just coming out even here between these other heroes.
Yeah, the BKB fight with Nature's Prophet, the bot tier 2, I think it was that last fight or the fight before, don't remember, but it was quite effective, and he's been hitting creeps this whole time too. Just ready to always follow up on his teammates, and so the nicest thing about their draft actually is that if you do play Prophet carry, you want allies that can go set up and do things. And if you look at every hero on the TSM side, they are all good at that. So he basically gets to constantly maximize farm, hitting Ancients, Neutrals, creep waves, push out lanes with this Nature's Call, and he's always ready to jump in once he has BKB like this. So he's in a great position. Ultimately, the Wraith King, yeah, his net worth's really solid too. The Death Cell will be very effective at securing kills, but his timing is coming a little bit later. Once he gets Blink Dagger, then his fights are going to be a little bit more straightforward.
Speaking of that Blink Dagger, I believe we just have one picked up on Puck. Slipperier. A little bit of scouting, though. Tossed out. They've got the smoke over in play at TSM. They're looking for an angle. They'd like to take this mid tower. Looks like they might navigate down to the bottom area. See Nature's Prophet already doing the relocate. Behold! Some big trees.
Dire's bottom
Alright, you
tower
are running over now. Quincy goes in.
All right. Dubu doing a bit of scouting, doing a little bit of death, looks like too.
is under attack.
That's really messed up. He was trying to dig and they interrupted his channeling time, so he didn't get to finish his dig. Could have been a bounty
Dire's
rune.
bottom
It could have
tower
been.
is
So let him
under
finish
attack.
it, then you kill him, then you steal his bounty rune. Would have been way better. But definitely the best hero for TSM to lose in that engagement, of course. Dubu just did a great job reading their movements. He roamed over trying to get some pickoffs, and whoever was left over, nobody was there though. They were all spread out. So still a very even game.
And we do have the Blink Dagger completed now for this Wraith King. So he's going to be able to follow up his Puck, follow up his Centaur, whatever is necessary. Or he can be the one who jumps forward if needed. A lot of options on the board.
Cool. Throwing out like huge amounts of physical damage is definitely really effective, especially if you can catch the Wind Ranger. If she doesn't press Wind Run in time, you get her with a Puck Silence and you jump in and stun hit her, she's going to die really, really quickly. So that's probably goal number one. Dealing with Nature's Prophet would be excellent as well, but he's already got pretty good armor. I mean, this hero has disgustingly high agility gain, 3.6 per level on Nature's Prophet. So solving armor is not that important on the hero, but he has also picked up a plate mill. He's going to go AC afterwards, and then the Wraith King isn't going to feel that bad when they end up fighting head to head at some point in these fights.
You see that Quincy crew are grouping up towards this middle area. Could be going for a smoke. In fact, that's indeed what they're going to do. 5-man smoke, make their way through, see who they can catch, and they are pinging around the Roche pit. A little rocket flare. It's going to be Dubu again. This is breaking the smokes. This seems to be his main part of the team right now. Although they do manage to find Saberlight. Stomp forward from Leslau. It's like he was hoping maybe he could let Quinn finish it off, but he'll take it for himself, and they'll put pressure on the top tower and perhaps make their way over to the Roche pit. They do have the Deso on you are.
Radiant's top tower.
True, and now with dead heroes, they can definitely start it. I don't really see them contesting. It's not worth the buybacks for just first Roshan. Curious who they'll put it on. Probably not Wraith King, but you never know. If he really wants to get aggressive, then it can be useful on him. Maybe they'll throw it on Centaur or Puck instead.
I can see possibly Puck, but Puck is already very, very slippery, so that's... Alright, yeah, it's still going to be Quinn.
We'll take it.
It'll be Quinn.
Really, a great skirmish though. Ooh, they got
Bryle was poking
He
at
doesn't have
Fonz.
BKB.
Okay, alright, there it is. There's a... He almost manages to get the save off. Nice shackle on the back lines over on Quinn again. He has the Aegis, so there'll be a toss back. Lelis just jumping forward though. I'll clean up Bryle after a little bit of doing.
That double slap plus the Nature's Prophet ulti just instantly kills Fada there. But it's fine. He helped secure the lockdown there so that Bryle gets killed. Nice catch there. And basically Quincy crew getting everything they want out of these skirmishes. I mean, that was an arcane rune when they caught them top as well, so Puck is ready to go. Just needs mana.
It looks like for like half a second you see his little corpse fall over.
Fada's like, I'm helping.
I mean, he did though. He helped set that up. That's a very valuable kill.
Bro kind of almost got out actually, but they managed to catch him. And in fact, he actually does have Ags queued up on the Tiny, not a BKB. So it doesn't feel so good about the BKB timings, obviously. It did get nerfed in a pretty big timing way. But if he gets Ags, that's we haven't seen it in a while. It was very popular. That first TI, that OG one, I believe, was the first one, TI8. But kind of fell off for a while. I've heard that the Echo Saber does work with the Ags right now, so you can get kind of perma-slow with it. But it'll be a really nice way to add more damage from Bryle's perspective without having to put himself too much in danger. And if they can layer it with disables like Shackle Shot or Hook Shot Cogs, he's going to do a ton of AoE damage, and it's going to really provide a lot of carry potential. But until he gets it, he's still very vulnerable to these moments where Quincy does catch him and he's out of position. So that's the scary part. If Quincy keeps picking him off on the map, they're going to keep using those momentums for map control and objectives like more Roches or towers. So it has positives and definitely some big negatives.
Speaking of momentum, seeing a lot of mobility now. I think everybody on the side of Quincy crew has picked themselves up a Blink Dagger, except for Fata. But again, he's got his little jump, right? You know, he can be part of the Blink Club.
That's true. He doesn't need it.
He does not, no. But it is really interesting because they have been super aggressive and being the ones who, you know, get these initiations in first a lot of the times, unless it's just Fata, you know, baiting like this. Because you see this movement top. Here's Dream Coil over onto Bryle. Hook shot though coming in and get it. Quinn is going to be able to just hide away for the moment, blink forward, throw out an orb, get a little bit of vision. They can see Dubu over here, so they'll finish off, and Quinn jumping in to be a part of the fun.
All right, could have been a little worse there. I was scared that Puck was going to die too, but
He's the Aegis too, right?
Punish the Zeus. Yeah, but you obviously don't want to lose it. I mean, this is 2 more minutes on the map that you get to keep it and continue to be aggressive after the pickoff. That was also Dark Ascension being used. We're at 25 minutes now, so I assume it's going to be nighttime, so he's completely fine. Still gets to play Dota.
Why is Saberlight having such difficulty in this particular game? Like, it feels like, you know, I like the idea of this Night Stalker giving the vision. It's got solid silence, but he just hasn't been very effective in the way
he's been doing fine. I mean, they're just having trouble taking skirmishes in some places against Quincy Crew. They have a lot of tanky heroes. Maybe they felt behind a little bit. Wind Ranger is a little bit vulnerable. There's a lot of dangerous things to deal with. And he had that bad first, like, nighttime Depop Dark Ascension just to run mid for them to die. Then it was daytime. That's probably why you're feeling the difference here. He hasn't had that normal, like, Dark Ascension gets used, I get 1 or 2 kills. So he hasn't been on the same snowball. That's basically why. It's like a tempo thing.
Is Emerson stuck in all those treants over there?
Wow, that was actually crucial surround. Oh!
And then it goes to Mono to finish the deal. Gets spotted, gets MSS.
That was ownage by Tomato. The surround there guaranteed that MSS couldn't chase. They couldn't continue chase Brawl, do damage, and then once again his ultimate just does an insane amount of damage when used properly.
Still a very, very close game though. 26 minutes in. My Clockwerk's working on picking up his shard. Gonna be nice to give a little bit more vision, a little bit more mobility.
Yeah,
feels like the name of the game for this particular match.
Yeah, the vision will be really huge in cases that Night Stalker can't use it, at least.
Slow. Follow up here from Quinn. Yeah, you see Duba turn around. He's like, do we want to go on this? Do we get the tree out?
He's kind of in
hanging
trouble.
Out here. They're considering it because they've got Saberlight. They can get that silence. The AoE over. Yeah, that's beautiful here. They're going to try to chase after Quinn. They'll cancel it out. Hookshot going in over onto Leslau. They'll kill the Centaur. They would love to get Quinn, but he is pretty difficult to get their hands on. Maybe they can get themselves Bada. Making his way a little bit closer. Eduardo jumping in to seize this nice stuff. They go right past and they're like, all right, we're going to end up losing Saberlight, but we'll get ourselves a Fata. And now there it is. There's the Dream Coil with the BKB over on Uward, just cutting through Bryle. They've got plenty of nuke damage. It's a double kill now for the Wraith King.
That feels like the first huge entry into the game that Uwar has had. I mean, his KD is great. It's 5-0-3, but that one was so crucial in a moment where Quincy was really on the ropes. Puck's Aegis got burned. He's running for his life. They end up being able to turn Zeus's death into so much more. So really nice moment to jump in and guarantee that Wraith King or the Night Stalker death. That's like the scary thing about Night Stalker. He runs at your teammates, and if you don't have somebody that can just do a stun and huge amounts of physical damage, Night Stalker just feels so obnoxious with BKB. But in that case, he catches him, didn't press BKB in time, or he bought BKB after, I'm not sure which, and then ultimately providing what you need. Sometimes we see it from like a TA, can be really nice. Night Stalker runs at your supports, you just give him a little meld strike and he's like, okay, I'll leave your supports alone, you know? You need that carry to back you up sometimes. Yeah. Otherwise, the Night Stalker just gets to abuse you.
That meld strike just lasts forever, it feels like.
It does, but it's ultimately just so much damage, amplifies your teammates, fits really well Tusk as well. It's a lot of physical damage output from him.
All right, well, we've got ourselves the Sprout leashes. Pretty common here over on the Nature's Prophet. So I'm starting to see a little bit of a shift over to the side of Quincy Crew.
The Sprout release is going to be really good against Puck. That's the scary thing for him. Won't be able to use some of his abilities. Probably no blink. I don't know exactly what it stops on him because a lot of it's also probably stops him from using Winnie Rift, I would imagine.
Ooh, nice initiation coming out from the side. He's got his own BKB. They blow up Moon Meander. And now Saberlight, he's popped his own BKB. He's going to retreat. They get a nice hit and run over on the Wind Ranger. Do you finally finish up the Agnum Scepter here for the Tiny? So we have Tree Volley online for Bryle.
Okay, let's see it.
Let's see how this goes.
I assume it comes down to initiation, basically. His teammates go in, he can drop the Tree Volley, do a huge amount of damage. He's going to have to play back a little bit. He's still not queuing up BKB, by the way. Queuing up a Daedalus afterwards. really aiming for this to be some of their late game carry potential. And I think they'll be fine in that sense. Sometimes Nature's Prophet can fall off a little bit against other carries, but against Wraith King, I think he'll be fine. And having the tree volley on top of that means tons of damage output if TSM can take the initiations. It does seem like Quincy is very willing to spend their resources to get any pick off, because it does just buy them more time to go later and later in this game.
Yeah, it's paying off for them for sure. Smoke play coming out from the side of TSM. Invis Rune's gonna get picked up by Ryle. Turns around, he sees Quinn. Could be hook shot in from Dubu, but just a little bit too fast there. Not gonna be able to go and finish up as they drop the Dream Coil. They'll end up losing MSS. Yuan is here though, and they're still leashed up over on the side. Jet coming out from Dubu. He's just gonna flail around, but he can't hit anything. He's got no way to go and hit any of these heroes when those trees are wrapped around him. So we'll hold Yuan in place, and Ryle will pop the Invis Rune. I'm sure he's thinking about Fata here. Look at this. He sees the lightning bolt's already been used, but doesn't know where all the rest of the team is. So it looks like he's going to be careful of it.
That was a Quinn's force staff, by the way, to get him out of danger. He really needs it this game. Against the leash, against the Night Stalker, if he's silenced or caught in that, he needs a way to get out. And in that fight, it was super instrumental. Allowed him to disengage, get out of the Night Stalker slow or silence, and then land a monster Dream Coil on 3 heroes. And between like Witchblade and the Enchanted Quiver, like him dealing damage and countering heroes like Wind Ranger is just really, really likely at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice pickup. Did have the there was a Quelling Blade, I think, over on UR. Just wasn't able to swap it out fast enough, looks like, but you have to be very aware of that as well.
It's a hard decision at this point. You don't really want to. He's got all of his items. You know, you can't really make this swap.
Motto finding this opening over onto Leslau. Tree volley coming in hot, and that's going to be a dead centaur.
The true anime moment. He throws like 4 trees, and then before they hit, he blinks in and also avatosses. It's very cool.
Trees are on the side of TSM today, that's for sure.
That's true. Kind of a interesting Leslau build as well. Gonna go Heart now. He's got the shard, got a Crimson Guard. Little Cloak of Flames, not too much magic resistance, but he's just going to go for as much HP as possible. Try to be super tanky. It's one way to like play the game, you know, if he gets focused on and can get some double edges off with BKB and force all the damage to be on him, it's going to make a lot more space for Zeus, Puck, and the Wraith King to do tons of damage. So it's kind of a different take, but his net worth is quite stupidly high for a Centaur, so I think he's very pleased to go this build. Just have like a fun carry-like offlane.
I feel like we're seeing more and more of that recently with these offlaners. They've been a bit greedier and picking up items. I mean, the first one that comes to mind, right, is Amar with the way that he plays. But definitely have been seeing a bit of a trend on that.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to see like net worths move around a little bit. Some 5-position heroes hit a lot of creeps. Some CM, some games, sometimes some other heroes. Dubu's hit a lot of neutrals this game, not necessarily on purpose, just because there's not much else to do. BKB is popped up.
Yes, and Quinn jumping over to the other side. They do manage to find him though. Nice Shackle coming into play. They should be able to punish this. That's going to be an Aegis. They just have to figure that they know exactly where they have the lockdown. They've got themselves an Avalanche.
Nice. Good. Avalanche into Shackle. Nice way to catch him. That's a big punish. Great catch there by TSM. And finally, they get to get aggressive against Quincy. Quincy was not ready for him to get caught.
No, they were not ready for that. Holy shit.
They were so ready for him to be. So, like, this guy's going to be greedy. He's going to come look for a +1, and we're just going to smash him. And another big moment, because that takes away the advantage that TSM got with the puck pickoff. So, very cool. They're really bringing it back towards TSM when they get an advantage. And Quincy's playing really solid.
They're hunting down here for Dubu as well. So they had that. Oh, they find him. Oh, look at that. The big chop. Don't even need to be here, MSS. You are had it all under control.
Are these cogs invincible? What the hell? +2 power cogs hit. The 6 attack to kill 1 cog. Or wait, no, it's 4. I don't know why that took so long. Yeah, that was a noof moment. He got blown up so fast.
See the state of the game now
smoked,
when there's an Aeon. Yeah, they were smoked hiding in the triangle. And he just happened to make his way over. They knew exactly where he was going to be.
That's kind of cool, though. Like, they smoked probably to get to puck in time. It didn't work out, so they're like, oh, well, now we can just use this to pitch for a kill when Night Stalker doesn't expect it, you know?
Absolutely.
It's like a nice way to clean up a bad situation.
Radiant's bottom
Our position 5 Zeus has finally achieved his Agnum Scepter.
Very powerful.
Very
Dire's top
good
tower
indeed.
is under attack.
Ups and he just procced the Aeon disc on Wind Ranger. That was a fresh Aeon disc. Destroyed for nothing.
I was about to say, you can really tell the state of the game for the supports when they have to get themselves an Aeon disc at 34 minutes in. It's a bit rough.
Yeah,
Hard knock life.
it's really scary for Wind Ranger. There's so much jump burst against him. Got to be very careful. And as soon as Zeus ulties, he ulties, he nimbuses, he's like, I'm going back to Fountain. That's like way too much mana. So he's not going to be very good at like staying on the map for long periods of time, but split pushing out waves with Nimbus is going to be really effective if he needs to do that. Following up on his allies at initiate is going to be another really big help for him.
Definitely.
His damage is really high. He's got level 18, so his total burst is close to 1,000 damage. So anybody that gets grabbed by the Quincy crew side, that person, if they're not BKB, they're going to get bursted down really quick.
I mean, he's just essentially a cannon at this point of just a very glass cannon when you consider that he's got the brown boots, the Ag Scepter, and just the ring of Basilius. But like, that's exactly what they were planning on, right? They wanted him to just have mass amounts of damage, maybe do a little bit of D-ward here and there. He's not meant to necessarily stand toe-to-toe in these fights.
Yeah, and that's the nicest thing about it is that he's got Heavenly Jump, obviously. That got him to this point very effectively. But even he can just, all of his range is so high that he can just stand really far back. Most of his value is the Nimbus and the Thunder God's Wrath. It's okay if he doesn't cast Lightning Bolt or Arc Lightning in a lot of these little skirmish positions. So it's a great position to be in for him. And now, right now, it feels very effective. He's definitely doing more than a 5 would be able to do in most
They
cases.
find themselves a war, but immediately, it's not looking great here for Saberlight. Cogs, now he's gonna have to fly over. They'll jump over onto the back line. Noir's just gonna spend a little time. They'll still end up losing Dubu. The push here with those Gale Force winds. I'm not sure if Moon wanted them to be pushed towards him. That was this gonna be the snowball, and they'll follow up. They find themselves Brile. He is trapped in a corner with trees and shards and everything nature. It's a double kill for UR.
Quincy's just so confident fighting because UR just forced that by himself, and they hookshotted him through BKB and they locked him in this like prison of cogs and trees for seconds and seconds. But the chase from Quincy was so strong. The coolest move there was MSS. He blinked on top of, I believe, Wind Ranger, and then he snowballed towards Tiny. So he got 2 stuns out of a snowball instead of just 1. Really cool add-on to make his value more effective. There was a gem dropped as well. They didn't spot it, but they're totally fine with this. They're going to get a Rax here.
Radiant's middle
Good
tower.
reveal of the new blinks too. They've got the overwhelming blink, the blink, Saberlight. Oh, the jump forward again coming out from Leslau. Throwing out the raised fire blast. Hookshot comes in though. Is it going to be enough? No, it doesn't manage to save him. It manages to catch a couple, but they cannot save Saberlight. Just buys him a bit more time. The Dream Coil's going to get used. And I can see that Tusk has to run away. They'll throw the trees out, protect Dubu a little bit more.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
But they're gonna just try to push them off of their buildings. It's looking a little difficult right now. They don't have their Tiny. They don't have the Night Stalker. The Gale Force wins again. Tree up Leslau, managing to land the shackle on top of that, but they have to be careful because UR's walking right over here. Dubu chasing after him. These are some big hits, but they do manage to go. They're holding him and everything they can for a prison, but they still end up losing Dubu. It's just proving to be very difficult to take out this Wraith King.
Really nicely done by them. They're just taking every opportunity that they see, and they're playing so well together around it. Just backing each other up perfectly. The Crimson Guard helps keep the Tusk alive when they overdive a little bit. When Puck gets gone on, they back him up as well. There was a great Force Staff there to save Leslau when he got Sprout and Cogged. They are just backing each other up so well. And now it's just a mega farmed Wraith King. Clip 1, great dive here. Trying to kill Saberlight. They did end up getting him. Great Cogs. Sprout, sort of bad, pushed them all out a little bit here. But they know what their play is. It's just lock their opponents down and don't let them get in the fight. And it's hurt UR in a lot of these fights, but he just hasn't died yet. 7, 0, and 10. He does a huge amount of damage. Even if his window to hit heroes is low, his damage is so much right now that it's okay. He can usually get at least 1, and the rest of his team can run at his opponents. But if the net worth was closer, I just feel like UR would be doing nothing in these fights. He'd get locked in this Sprout Cog prison, and he wouldn't be able to get out.
Now, do you think it would have been value for... I know that we've got the BKBs on a lot of the heroes over on TSM, but should they have picked up something like a pipe too? Just because I feel like when you open these fights with the amount of damage that Fata can output, you're already at a disadvantage.
Got it.
That is a tough thing to deal with, but it feels bad to buy a pipe just to stop like some of the Zeus bursts.
Right.
It's good against Quinn as well on the Puck, but there isn't. It's kind of a hard item to buy right now, unless you have like a mega tanky offlaner. Night Stalker's tanky, but BKB is what you need, and once you already have BKB, buying Pipe after that does not feel good. And frankly, Pipe on Night Stalker just isn't really right. So the thought is slightly right, but it's just like hard to it's hard to fit it in. It really is difficult.
Is there any value of, like, obviously, you know, when you're depending, right? Because like the Zeus being able to, you know, hit you. Oh, hold that thought. Quinn poking away here at Saberlight. Saberlight does have the BKB available, so he's gonna have to teleport out. I was gonna ask.
Cool.
Is it one of those things where, like, you know, a Glimmer Cape could be potentially just helpful for one of these supports too, because they're having a lot of difficulty. They have an Aeon disc over on Moon. Duper probably not the person that you probably want to pick that up on, but is there any potential with that?
I don't know. Because I don't know if Glimmer's the way. All the fights are so fast. It's really difficult to like even plan for Glimmer to kick in. Quincy is just executing so quickly.
Even just
like,
for
everyone's dying within like 2 seconds.
Like for that little bit of extra magic resistance sort of thing. Oh, okay, Dubu gonna be the sacrifice, but I'm not sure if they're gonna be able to get everybody out in time. Yeah, Bra, he blinks. Go for the Stampede. They want this catch if they can get it. They get the silence, but he's already popped the Dark Ascension, so Saberlight should be safe here.
Like, you're right, Glimmer Cape is a great way to save these people that get gone on, but the scary thing is that people are dying so fast that I don't even think the magic resistance that Glimmer will, I don't think it kicks in fast enough. They're like jump stunning a guy. 3 heroes are using their abilities at the same time. A lot of it's physical, Wraith King, the stuff that Tusk is producing. I just don't even feel like Glimmer is quick enough. That's the problem. And even if you Glimmer, the range is so short that you're probably the next guy that gets gone on. It's just the Quincy crew lineup is just so quick and so good at jumping that it's difficult to back each other up. And this truly is like the way to play this game.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, they have such a very, like, diverse draft over on the side of Quincy crew. You've got plenty of physical damage, but you have a lot of magic on top of that. So even something like a Ghost Scepter isn't effective.
It's really tough when they're playing this coordinated. Really is a next level game.
Yeah, it's looking great.
They're just camping out Roshan here. It will respawn right now.
Right,
they do spot it instantly on TSM. We'll see if they can do anything, or are they going to still push. It looks like they're going to try to fight it.
I've already deployed the trees over there, so they're out of rockets. See what they can find. Roach is getting low. Okay, they'll go use the Nimbus, but Dubu does have the jetpacks. To be above the tree line to set the hook shot, slows them down just a little bit. MSF, though, with the punch. Secure. Bottles in the bottom lane. Bottles up the double damage. That's going to be very necessary, I have a feeling. He will continue to farm, and Quinn will get the Aegis for a second time around. Who got the goodies, though?
Pressure Shard on Puck. Yeah, she's Centaur, so no free Ags here. Still a really good position. I love how they're using Zeus ulti like this. Again, when it's a 5, it does not feel like a big impact. You're like, whatever, it's on cooldown for a bit, no big deal. You know, they found Saberlight previously with it. He was forced to press BKB and go back.
It's time. We have the Rapier.
It is,
and they spotted it.
It's definitely time.
They spotted it too, so they know exactly what was just
Man's got an AC in his backpack. He is so freaking farm still. I cannot believe he has so much net worth, actually. This is really impressive.
I mean, we talked about that.
Carry.
We talked about that too. The fact that, like, a lot of those fights, yeah, he show up every once in a while, but for the most part, we didn't see much of Tomato because he was just allowed to move around the map and hit creeps. But the real big question is, was it enough? Is it going to be enough? Is it going to be able to salvage this game for them? It's a 19k net worth lead going over to the side of Quincy crew, and they're looking very, very strong, especially with the coordination that we're seeing.
I mean, he's got tons of damage output, so it's definitely something to be worried about. If he can get on top of some of the squishier heroes that can't defend themselves very well. Zeus is a great example. He's still only got Heavenly Jump. He does have Refresh Orb, so you could do it twice if you really needed to, but they can land some disables on Puck. That would be great as well, but they're just kind of limited. Their major effectiveness was a lot of like Night Stalker silence in the early mid game, but Quincy crew avoided those timings well enough that now they just have enough survivability on Puck. The 4-staff, the blink. He's got a Kaya Sanj and Octarine. His raw HP is quite high. His armor is not that bad, so it just doesn't feel as effective to play Night Stalker at this point in time. Once he gets Nullifier, maybe it changes things up a bit because he can't 4-staff away. That could really, really help here for Saberlight. But buying that, it's going to lose him his buyback, and that could mean that the game just ends if they take one more bad team fight. And that looks likely with Quincy Crew being this ahead in net worth.
I was gonna say, I feel like Tomato consistently has just been trying to do these split pushes. But at this point, I also feel like Quincy Crew, they can kind of ignore it a bit, right? Because they're up with this advantage in terms of the buildings that they've taken out.
Yep. And if you've been watching Tomato, he's been in the base a lot.
Oh, look at that. The stun immediately. Okay, Gale Force One's trying to do something, but just not going to be able to do anything to ours. He just cuts through 2 heroes. All of a sudden, TSM. They do a buyback, and they're going to make their way, though, down to the bottom portion. Take out this tower. Bryle seeing this opening. Doesn't even get to toss up. This is the silence. Right into the back lines, but again, they got that BKB over to He's doing a lot of damage. Just takes down MSS. He's going to get out of there quickly. Does have the silver right. He's going to back off. Saberlight, he bought back. So did Do, but they're going to try to fight, but it's a little bit scary for them right now. These wins, though, there's no BKB available this time for Yawar. They're going to be able, they latch,
Shackle.
jump forward again. Can they get enough damage down? Let's allow them trying to protect him. We'll be able to take down Saberlight. Just bought back, it's a dieback. Not going to be able to be a part of this. Is Bryle also not going to be able to be a part. He has no buyback. Dreamcoil gets used. Dubu has the little rocket pack, though. He's going to try to get into the base, but it's just it. They call GG. Quincy Chris just playing too gosh darn well.
They really did. I mean, the laning stage for the Centaur pick worked out excellent against the character.